Hey guys, welcome to the Creative Arena. So in this tutorial, I'm going to show you everything you need to know about the Elementor Loop, be it the Elementor Loop Grid or the Loop Carousel. At the end of this tutorial, you'll be able to make use of the Elementor Loop widget the right way on a website that is made up of either post, product, or other form of custom post. And with this powerful Elementor widget called the Loop, you'll be able to design a wonderful dynamic pages on your website without any hassle or difficulties. This tutorial is going to come in series, so you're going to make sure you watch each and every series so you get the full details as to how to make use of the Elementor Loop the right way and easily. So without further delay, let's dive in and get started. So on your WordPress dashboard, the first thing you're going to do before you start making use of the Elementor Loop is to head on to the Elementor plugin here, and then you go to the settings. Now under the settings, you head to the features. Now you scroll down to where you see the Flexbox container here and make sure you set it to active. So once you've done that, you come down here and you click on the save changes. And after you've done that, now the next thing you're going to do is you're going to realize that there are two ways to which you can access this loop and make use of them on your website. Now one of the ways is either you go through the template, you come down to the theme builder. We're going to open this, and then you come over here, you see where it's written the loop items, and then you can just click on this plus icon and get started. And the second way to which you can make use of the Elementor Loop is either coming into your canvas area, where you can just come over here and search for the loop, and then you just drag the loop grid and drop it here. And then you see there is an option here for you to create a template and to also create a template here. All you just need to do is to click on it and you get this prompt for you, and then you click on save and it allows for you to create a template. However, we'll be making use of the theme builder approach to create our loop items, and then I'll show you what to do next after that. Okay, so we're just going to close that, and then this is our canvas area where we can create our custom loop. So the first loop we'll be creating is a loop for post. So in our canvas area, what we're going to do is we're going to come over here at the bottom here, bottom left corner, where we see this settings icon here. We're going to click on it, and then this is where we can title our loop. It is important that you title your loop so that when you want to pull that loop into a particular page, you can easily search for it. Okay, so we're going to call this our loop first post loop item, something like this. We'll call it this, and then here we can set our previous settings. Normally what we're going to create is the post, so it's going to pull the most recent post on our blog. And let's go back to our site. Make sure your website has enough posts on it. As you can see, we've already created some posts here, so make sure your website has some posts on it so that you'll be able to pull those posts and see the designs you're creating. Okay, so we'll now go back here, and then we'll come over to the query. Now here is where you set your source type, either the post, if you're creating the loop for post, product, post taxonomy. These are actually new features, and we'll be talking about that in the series. So we are working with the post, so we're just going to click on the apply and allow for it to load. Okay, so now we have an interface where you can see this recommended option here. Now you need to understand that there are three things you need to take note of, and I'm going to explain all three of them. First of all, you're going to take note of the widgets that are associated with post, such as this recommended widget where you see the post title, the post excerpt, the post contents, featured image, and the post info. And also you can just come over here, drag and drop this particular widget here, and then it will pull the most recent post for you. Okay, so now you also need to understand that there are certain posts that contains dynamic tag that you can use as well. Take for instance, you drag the image widget here. Now for the image widget, you can see that it has a dynamic tag here. With this dynamic tag, you can still make use of it in creating your loop So when you click on it, you can see here the option for you to select the featured image, and it does the same thing as that of the featured image. There are also other widgets such as the heading widget that you can drag here that has the dynamic tag. So these are the second types of widget you take note on your website, the widget that has the dynamic tag option on it. And then the third kind of widget you take note are the static widget, such as the divider. Now you can bring this over here. You can see that there is no dynamic tag option for the divider. So once you apply this on your website, it's going to be static. It cannot be changed dynamically on the website. But let's just design our custom post from scratch. Okay. So now what we're going to do here is we're just going to come over here, and then we're going to drag our image, our featured image option here. We're going to drag and drop it here. And for the featured image, we'll go to the style option. We're going to give it a width of, let's change it to pixel, and then give it a width of 400. 400, let's say 20. 420. And then for the height, we're going to set the height to 250. And then for the object fit, we're going to set it to cover. Okay. So now that we've done that, we're going to come over to the post, to the border radius, and we're going to unlink this and give it a border radius of 20 to the top, 20 to the right. Okay, so this is what we have here. All right, this looks great. So the next thing we're going to do is we're just going to come over here and let's drag a container. Mind you, you can, no matter how, depends on how creative you are, you can be able to tweak this option to get your desired outcome for your post, how you want your post to look like. So I'm just going to do this as a sample for you to see. Okay, so now for this container here, we're going to come over here, and then let's come over to this parent container first of all, and let's come down here to where we have this gap, and we're going to remove the gap by setting it to 0 so that there is no gap between this featured image and this container here. Now for this container, we're going to edit it, and then we're going to set it to full width, and we're going to come over here to the style option and give it a background color of black. Okay, and then we'll go to the advanced settings, and we're going to give it a padding of 20 pixels all around. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to come over here. We can either make use of the post title, or we can make use of this heading widget that contains dynamic tag, like I said earlier. So we're just going to drag the post title and we're going to drop it here, and it's going to pull the most recent post title on our website. Now there is a gear icon here where you can have some advanced settings. If you want a text before the post title, let's say post, and you're gonna see it's gonna appear before the post title, this here. And you can also do the same for the back, for the after, and also for the fallback. What this fallback means is when in a situation where there is no data to pull from the post title, what should Elementor display? So you can just set no data. You can set it no data available. This is also optional because there is no way you could create a post without adding a title to the post. You understand? Okay. So now that we're good with this, we'll go to the style option here, and then we can change the color to white. And then for the typography, we'll come and reduce it to 20 pixels, or let's say 18 pixels. And then we're going to come over here and we're going to drag another widget. This is the post, which is the post info. I'm going to drop it right above this post title. Now this post info gives you the metadata of that particular post. So we're going to close down the author. We don't want the author to display, and we don't want the time to display. So we're just going to have the date and the comment. Now if you toggle this down, you're going to see that there is an option for you to set if you want it to be a link. Also the icon option, if you want to use the default icon or your own icon. We're going to leave it at default, and I'm just going to make this not clickable. Okay, then I'll go to the style option here, and then for the icon, I'm going to give the icon a color of red, and for the text, we're going to set the text color to white. Okay, and for the typography, we can set the typography to 14 pixels. Okay, now this looks great. And then what we're going to do next is we're just going to come over here and we're going to drag the post asset right below the post title. Okay, now for the post except, when you click on this range icon here, you're going to see that there is an option for you to set the post length. And then what we're going to do is we're going to give it a post length of 20 characters. Okay, and it's going to reduce. Okay, you might not be seeing it. Let me change the color to white so it's visible. Okay, so now let's go back here and then we'll set it to 20. And then this apply to post is in a situation whereby your posts do not have an except assigned to it. With this option here, you can just easily, when you toggle it, it will easily generate an except from the post content of that particular post. And then there is the advanced option which you already talked about. Okay, so now that we've done this, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to come over here and we're going to drag and drop this button here. Now remember what I said initially, that there are certain widgets that contains dynamic tags that you can make use of. Now, like for the button, you can see that the link of the button, there's a dynamic tag here. For the title of the button, there's also a dynamic tag option for you to do and put it out there dynamically. So for the link, we're going to set it dynamically. We're going to set it to post URL. And then for the title here, we're just going to change it to read more. And then we'll now go to the style option. Now for the style option, we're just going to come over here to the button, to the background. We're going to change the color to black. Okay, and we now have something that looks like this. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're just going to come over to the title here. We're going to make it clickable as well, and then we'll come here to the content, and for the URL we're going to set it dynamically. So we're going to put the post URL here dynamically. And then for the image also, we're going to make it clickable. So we're going to come over to the content, and for the link, we're going to set a link to custom URL, and we're going to see this dynamic tag here. We're going to use it and set it to post URL. So it's going to pull the URL dynamically for us. Okay, so now that we've done that, the next thing we're going to do, we're just going to come over to this container here. Let's tweak it a little bit. Let's go to the style option, and let's come over to the border. Now for the border radius, we're going to unlink this, and for the bottom, we're going to give it 20 pixels and to the left 20 pixels. So we now have something that looks like this with a full border radius all around. Okay, so we're also going to go further to the box shadow, and then we're going to set the box shadow color to a solid color, and then we're going to drag and drop it to color red. Now we're going to come down here under the vertical. We're going to give the vertical a value of 10. And for the blur, we're going to give the blur a value of 0. So we now have our post that looks like this with clickable options, and everything now looks wonderful. Now you can still go over here to check the responsive mode to see how it looks like on tablet. It looks okay on tablet. And then you go to mobile, you see how it looks like on mobile. It doesn't look too great on mobile. So we can come over to this parent container here, and we're going to go to the advanced settings and give some padding. Let's say 20 pixels all around. So we now have something that looks like this, and I think it looks wonderful and okay here. Okay, so now that we are done and we see that it looks wonderful in all screen devices, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to publish our loop. So we click on the publish. Okay, so now remember the title we gave our loop. Okay, so now that we're going to copy this out, and so we've created the loop successfully. Now the next step is for us to display this particular loop we've created, this particular post loop we've created on any part of our website, on any page on our website. So we're going to come over to our canvas area here, and then we're going to come here and set the structure. Let's select this structure here, and let's go to the advanced settings, and let's give it a padding of 100 all around. Okay, so we can see precisely what we're doing. So we're going to come over here, and under the loop, under the widget, we're going to search for loop here, and this is the loop. We're going to drag and drop it here. Okay, so now under the layout, you're going to see where it asks you to choose template type from this template option here. So we've created the loop for post, so we're going to select post and then choose a template. Now what this means is that the template we've created using the theme builder, we're going to paste it here. Remember, we copied it out and we're going to paste it here. And it's going to search it and it's going to come over here for us. This is it, and we're going to select it. Now in a situation whereby you cannot remember it, you need to go back to your team builder, and then under the loop item, you see all the list of loops you've created, and you're going to see the particular one you created, and you can copy it. So it's always advisable that when you use the team builder to approach to create your loop, you title it. Okay. All right. So now that we have selected it, you can see now that our loop has been pulled here successfully, and everything looks wonderful. You see, it looks beautiful and very, very wonderful. Okay. So now you can also come and set the column, set it to 4 if you want, and you still have it. Now you can notice something, that it doesn't look nice, and then you can see that they are not equal height. Now Elementor gives you an option here where you can set it to equal height, but in some cases when you select this, it doesn't happen. Nothing happens. You still have some longer than the others, and they are not of equal height. So, however, I've made a video about how to go about a situation like this. Okay, so you can also check that video out. It will be on the description of this video for you to access on how you can sort out an issue of this nature. Okay, so now we come down here under the query. Okay, there is also this apply alternate template. We'll be talking about this subsequently in our series. Okay, so now the next one we're going to talk about is the query. Under this query option, this is where you can set your source of query, which could be the post, landing, themes, and any other thing you've created, be it custom posts. You find them here and you can select them to query your loop. And also there is an include option. What this means is that you can sort out what post you would like to display here, be it category wise or author wise. So when you click on this, you see there is a theme and then there is an author. Under this theme here, you can select either category or tag. So in our post, we can see that our post there is a category called news, housing, and so on. So let's select news. So we'll come over here and we select the news. Let's say we type news here. It's going to search for news, and then it's going to allow us to see the category called news, and we select that category, and it's going to pull only content from that category news, and we can see and make use of it on our website. Okay, so let's go back here. Then let me set this to 3 so that it looks nice for us. Okay, so and then under here you can set the date and then order it either by date. You can set the kind of date you want or your post to be displayed from. Is it the past day, the week, the past week, past month, or custom date? And then you can also order it either by date, title, menu order, last modified, comment, and even random. And then order it either descending order or ascending order. And then there is also this feature called ignore sticky post. Now what this means is that in a situation whereby you have a post on your website that you set to stick on the front page, this now is a feature that allows you to either ignore such post or to display such post. Now I'm going to explain to you further. Let's go to our post. Now take for instance, we have this post here and we're just going to edit this post here. Now, once it loads up, we come over to the public view here. Now, there is this option here called stick this post to front page. Now, when you select this post here and you update it, what this means is that when you come over here, this ignore sticky post here option here, if you click it to yes, it will ignore all posts that you set here to stick in the front page. It will ignore them all. And if you do not set this to yes, it's going to display it. And now the difference is that once you toggle this to no, what it's going to do is that all the posts that you've set to stick in the front page will be at the front, and every other new post will always come after that particular post. Okay, so it is advisable that you just leave it the way it is to ignore such posts on your website, especially when you want to set this loop on a particular page, or you want to pull data from a particular category or something. Okay, all right, so the next we have here is the pagination. Now for the pagination, let's go back to this query and let's remove this query here. I forgot there is also the exclude query, which you could use to exclude a particular category from displaying, and then avoid duplicates as well, duplicate post. And now under this exclude, you can see there is also the option of offset. What this means is that it allows you to skip a particular post. Now with this offset feature, you actually have more power to create a more unique post on your website. And we're going to talk about these offset posts in our subsequent tutorial as well. So just make sure you watch the series. I'm going to do a live presentation of the offset post there, live effect of it. Okay, so now let's come over to the pagination. For the pagination here, there is an option for numbers, previous, next, and so on, depending on whatever you want, whatever option you want. So if I should choose the number option, you can see that these are the numbers here. We need to just go over to the style option and set the spacing down so we can see the numbers. Elementor does not give us the ability to design this other than what we already have here, which is minor tweaking. Okay, but however, I've already made a tutorial whereby you can customize this pagination here to look how you want it to look, and so a link of that video will be added in the description of this video as well. Okay, so now we'll come back here after the pagination. Now there is also this option here called the individual pagination. Now what this means is that in a situation whereby you have multiple loops on a particular page and you do not want any problem when you click on the pagination on one loop and then it doesn't load for you. With this feature here, once you toggle this on, it allows you to load the next page or the second page or the next page, depending on whichever page your visitors select on that particular loop without affecting the page URL structure or any other effect on the page. Okay, so now the next here is the additional feature, which is also a new feature that Elementor has added. And what this feature allows you to do is that once you toggle it on, in a situation whereby there is no content to be displayed in your loop grid, this is what your visitors will see. It is more like when you open a page that doesn't exist on your website, you get an error for this time around. It is for the loop grid whereby there is no loop in that page, and then this is what users can see. And also there's also a feature for you to make this dynamically. Okay, there is also a part that you need to understand that after you might have made use of the Elementor Loop Grid and drag it and drop it here, and you now have something that looks like this that is displaying, or the loop in particular you want to display, you also need to understand that when you hover here, there is an option here where you can edit the template in a situation where you want to remove something from the template or add something to it. You can edit the template here by clicking on edit, and it loads up for you and allows you to edit without any need for you to make use of the theme builder to access that particular loop you've created. So this is it. So I'm going to come here, edit this post title here, and go to this range icon. I'm going to remove this option here, and then you can see now that when I click on update, it's going to take effect, and I click on save and back, it's going to take effect on all the other posts in the loop. You can see it is gone. Okay, so that's pretty much it about this part of our series. Hope to see you on our next part. And if you've learned something new, please remember to give this video a thumbs up. And if you're new to our channel, please remember to hit the subscribe button and the bell icon so you get notified first when we drop a new tutorial. And please remember to follow all series concerning the Elementor Loop tutorial so you get a clear picture of everything. So see you on our next series.